What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the NECA Ultimate Editions, the Assassin Predator from the Predator. And so here we have the Assassin Predator posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. The Assassin Predator does come with two different head sculpts. We do get the somewhat neutral expression, which looks really nice. Then we do get an expression where he is roaring with his mandibles open. We also get a pair of fists. We get a pair of open hands. We get his wrist blade, which does fit on his right arm. And then we have his wrist cannon in its extended form, which does go on the left arm. And then we also do have it in its folded up state. Other than that, the Assassin Predator doesn't come with anything else. So let's actually take a closer look at its details. And so here we have a closer look at the Assassin Predator. Now, this is the exact same sculpt that we saw with the Armored Assassin Predator, although this is what he would look like without his armored skin, so he's more of a tan color here, and I think NECA has done a really good job repainting this figure. It's a very nice repurpose of that original Armored Assassin Predator, although there are some things I like about that version other than this version, and there's some things I like about this version other than that version. For one thing, I think the face is done better on the Armored Assassin Predator, just because the dark colors bring out those eyes a little bit more. Here, the eyes kind of do blend into the skin, so even from a distance you can see them, but it's not as piercing as the yellow on blue. This is basically yellow on brown, which makes it a little bit harder. It's still a really nice head sculpt, and I really do love the Predator dreads that he has on him right now. They are this really nice texture. As you can see, they have this copper banding going throughout them. So it's a really nice head sculpt. I do like it. I think my preferred look is the roaring head sculpt where the mandibles are open. But this is still a very nice head sculpt. Now, like I said, it is just a complete remold of the Armored Assassin Predator with a new paint app. And I think I like the body paint on him a little bit better. The lighter colors do make it a lot easier to note all the little details, and the wash and airbrushing that they use on this paint are just magnificent. You can see he does have these really nice stripes going throughout his body. Different Predators have different patterns on their skin, and I really do like the striping on the Assassin Predator. Say what you will about the movie, I'm not really a fan of the movie, but I really do like this figure. It was one of my favorite figures when it originally came out, and it's still a really nice figure. And you can see they did add, well, it's always been there, but it's more noticeable. His spine is almost protruding out of his skin and has this really nice wash going throughout it. And then we have some more of those patterns, those striping on him. And like I said, the lighter colors do bring out a lot of the detailing that we didn't really get to see that much on the original Armored Assassin Predator. But I still think he has done exceptionally well. I do believe the paint job right here on his codpiece is the same where we had that brown with a nice wash going throughout it. The silver is done exceptionally well, especially right here on his thigh guard. As you can see, they did a really, really great job painting this guy up. Really do like the way he came out. This is actually one of my favorite Predator figures that I own, especially the original one, and this one just adds to it. As you can see, that's the slot for his wrist blade, and we do have a slot for his cannon right here. And again, the gauntlets are done exceptionally well. That's really nice detailing right there. And like I said, you can see the detailing a little bit better here on the Assassin Predator versus the Armored Assassin Predator. Just because, I don't know, there's some contrast between the yellows and the browns that the silver pops a little bit better. And it, again, really just love the paint apps. NECA did a fantastic job. Even with the airbrushing here, it's almost perfectly consistent throughout the body. Yeah, you have some mismatched parts where they were probably spraying and the joint moved on them, and then they kept spraying and then it's out of alignment. But overall, really do like this figure. And you are going to be pricking yourself a few times. There are some sharp points throughout his body. I think the sharpest points are right here on his thigh and on his head. So swapping out the heads is a little bit of a chore. And then you do got to be careful for his dew claw back here, because these are sharp and you can poke yourself with those. You can even poke yourself with his feet. As you can see, he has these really nubby toes, which you can see they painted the toes here. On the original one, the toenails weren't painted, so that's something I do like about this one, that they actually did paint the nails on him, and you can see they are black. It's a really nice look for the Assassin Predator. Even though I don't care much for the movie, his overall design looks nice, but I don't understand why he had this kind of high ankle like we see on quadrupeds, while all the other predators have like flat feet. Never understood why his feet are completely different. I know he might be a different species, he might just have different genetics, but yeah, never understood that. But overall, this is still a really nice repaint and a really nice repurpose of the mold, and another way NECA can sell an already good figure back to the collectors who might have missed out on the initial release. He comes with the exact same accessories, so there's really nothing different other than the paint job. So overall, really happy with the Assassin Predator here. So what we're going to do now is actually get him posed and compared to other figures you may have in your collection. So here we have the Assassin Predator posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have the Assassin Predator posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective, Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have the Assassin Predator posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. Here we have the Assassin Predator posed next to the NECA Fugitive Predator. And finally, here we do have the Assassin Predator posed next to the NECA Armored Assassin Predator. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at the Assassin Predator's articulation, and he does sport quite a bit of articulation. If you weren't familiar with the original Armored Assassin articulation, let's actually go over it right now. He does have a ball joint going into a pin for the head, and it does allow him to look up quite a bit. I do not understand why we have a figure this tall looking up that well. I'm grateful that we have him looking up that high, but he really doesn't look it. He's towering over most of your collection, and he really doesn't look that far down. It's really just straight, slightly more straight, and all the way up, because he forgot where he left his planet, so he has to look up to the stars or something. We do get some really nice head tilts, so that works really nicely. We do have swivel left and right. His arms are on ball joints. They do go all the way out to the side. Although his armor does get in the way, you can kind of have his armor folded right above that joint, so that's pretty good. Really stiff joints on this guy, but he does go all the way around, no problem. We don't have a traditional bicep swivel on this guy, but we do have a double bend in the elbow, as well as an elbow rotation. So your rotation comes at the elbow, and then like I said, it is a double joint, so you can go that far, which is pretty respectable. We do have a forearm rotation for the armored, or the Assassin Predator. He's not armored, so I really do like that rotation. He does have a swivel and hinge at the wrist. Would have preferred a ball joint, but that works just as fine. He does have a ball joint here at the torso, which he does crunch forward to about right there. He can arch back better than he bends forward, which is surprising. For a figure looking down, you would expect his forward mobility to be a little bit better, but he does crunch forward to about right there. Going back, no problem. He does have a shift here in the pelvis and rotation at the waist, as well as up here at the middle joint. So moving on to his legs, let's actually get his arms out of the way. He can kick forward to about right there. It is a little bit hindered on the left side because of how his armor is detailed. On the right side, it does go all the way horizontal. Going out to the side, we'll run into that same issue where he has no armor on this side, so it does go out further. But you can work it. Actually, it goes out about the same. This actually does get it out of the waist. This is the first time I'm moving it that far, so that did surprise me a little bit. And you can hear those ratcheting joints really loud. Really glad that a figure this heavy has those ratcheting joints. We do have rotation up high in the bicep. You can see he has a double bend at the knee. And besides the rotation up high in his thigh, we do have rotation down here at his knee. And then it is double jointed, so he can bend about that far. do be careful you don't stab yourself with his claw. Now, one thing I didn't notice is that it is quite easy to get the knee stuck above this joint. As you can see, when you're pushing it up, you might run into a situation where that knee joint butts up right there. You gotta push back and up. It's a little bit strange, but that's what you gotta do. So at his ankle here, we do have a hinge which does go forward to about that far and then goes all the way straight. And I guess these would technically be considered his toes. Those are on a hinge as well, so they go forward and back, although they're really stiff on mine. He does have rotation here at the ankle, as well as rotation, forward rotation? Yeah, forward rotation at the toes, his bottom of his foot, whatever you want to call that. So overall, really do like the articulation on the Assassin Predator. So what we're going to do now is get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the NECA Assassin Predator posed for my final thoughts, and overall I really do like the way this figure came out. It's not essential for every Predator figure to, or collector to own this figure, although I do feel like this is one of the better figures that NECA has put out in terms of Predator figures, especially because he is very massive and he is well put together for what he is. He has a lot of good articulation, and I really do like the color scheme on this figure. If you were unable to pick up the original Armored Assassin Predator, this guy will do just fine in your collection. He comes with the exact same accessories, so you don't have to miss out on anything. I think the accessories on this figure work. I kind of wish that he came with an unretracted blade to go into his forearm gauntlet, but other than that, he's still a very solid figure. Now, this figure is starting to hit stores at the time we're making this video. If you haven't already seen him, he's still available on places like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth for about $40, which is a fair price, seeing as how he is a very massive figure and he has a lot of nice little accessories. $40 for this guy, I think it's a fair price. I actually picked mine up at Walmart for $40, which that's what he is going for, MSRP. So if you're a fan of this particular design of the Predator, I really do recommend him for Predator fans. Now, again, I'm not a fan of the movie. If anything, it's my least favorite Predator movie, but I can still respect when they do a really good job on a figure like this, and NECA has once again knocked it out of the park with this figure. It was already highly detailed to begin with, but the added paint job on this figure does make him look a little bit better than the original Armored Assassin Predator, although a little bit of paint on that other one would work just as fine. I think this is still a very good second go at the Assassin Predator, if that's what they call him. He's not armored in this version. This is basically him in his bare skin. So if you want to pick this guy up, check out Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, or check out your local Walmarts or Targets and you might find this guy. With that being said, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure videos, as well as all my other Predator and NECA videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.